Hey trainers! Welcome to the channel. Ladylunatone back with another video. Today we're diving into the latest leaks for the Pokémon Pocket's upcoming E2 mini set. And from what we've seen, it looks like an Arceus-themed release might be on the horizon. A recently leaked Twitter video, allegedly from the official Pokémon company, seems to have been posted preemptively, possibly to get ahead of other leaks. Let's take a look at the trailer. Alright, so let's break this down. This new set appears to be a single pack booster collection, similar to Mythical Island. Here's what we spotted. First, a new Magnemite, this time a Steel type. Another Eevee, suggesting we might get a new Eevee for each evolution. A Golbat, and of course Arceus. Arceus looks like it's a 140 HP basic EX card. It does 70 damage with 20 plus stacking bonus for each Pokemon on your bench, and it costs 3 energy to attack. And get this, it's immune to all effects. As a normal type, it could pair really well with Dialga, or maybe even a Palkia and Manaphy deck. We also got a glimpse of some battle footage, where Arceus is played alongside a fighting Dark Fusion deck. Meanwhile, the opponent's team features a new Garchomp EX and a Marshadow. A lot of strong cards in play here. Now this video was from a controlled leak, so it's not 100% yet confirmed to be a true Pokemon Pocket booster set, but many people are convinced this new set is coming. Since Pokemon Pocket has had the past 2 sets leaked prior to official announcements, it's assumed they released this new video to drum up hype about the new set without any misinformation. Unfortunately for Pokemon Pocket, it seems like despite this effort, additional information was leaked anyways. After the trailer dropped, an anonymous source revealed 11 more potential cards. Let's go over them. First up, Arceus EX. As we saw earlier, there's a new Arceus EX card. We already covered the basics for this, but I'll just say that the card art is stunning. And along with its stacking damage, it's also immune to all special conditions, like burning or confusion. Definitely a card to look out for when this set releases. We have a potential new trainer, Irida. This card heals 40 damage to all Pokemon with water energy attached. This card would be lethal if paired with a Manaphy deck. Since the release of Spacetime Smackdown, we've seen a rise in energy manipulation decks that try to play cards with neutral energy. So having a trainer card that isn't technically type locked will make a huge impact on the current meta. It looks like Glaceon and Leafeon are getting EX cards, which we missed out on in the Spacetime Smackdown set. Glaceon has a 140 HP. It does 90 damage for 3 energy, and it has an ability that lets you do 10 additional damage during a special condition checkup. Like if your opponent is using Hypno, and they're using Sleep Pendulum, you can do 10 damage every time your Pokemon does a sleep checkup. Leafeon also has 140 HP. It does 70 damage for 3 energy attached, and it has an ability that lets you attach Grass energy to one of your bench Grass Pokemon when Leafeon is in the active spot. This is pretty similar to the type of Grass cards we normally see. Leafeon's ability keeps it consistent with other Grass cards that favor energy acceleration and quick setups. It'll be interesting to see how this card can be worked into current Grass decks. Like we briefly saw in the trailer, it looks like we're getting a new Heatran card. The original card from Spacetime Smackdown was a Steel type, whereas this one is actually a Fire type. This card is meant to be played with Arceus, as its no retreat cost ability is dependent on Arceus being in play. It does a base damage of 40 for 2 energy, with an additional 40 if it's damaged. This could be a decent addition to Fire type decks. Unlike many other Fire types, this card doesn't dispose of any energy when you attack, so you can actually build your bench and still do some decent damage in the meantime. We are finally getting a new Crobat card to complete the Zubat evolution line from Genetic Apex. This card is also meant to be played with Arceus. It does a base damage of 50 for 1 energy, which is great, very consistent with other Dark-type cards which require very little energy to attack. And it does an additional 30 damage when Arceus is in play. All around, a pretty solid card and an exciting potential addition to Dark-type decks. We have Abomasnow. This card has 120 HP and does 80 damage for 3 energy. Again, this card has an Arceus-dependent ability, reducing the required energy to attack by 1. So far, it seems like a lot of these new cards are meant to be played with Arceus. Definitely something to work towards. Hopefully most of us will be lucky enough to unlock it early on so we can experiment with all these new cards. We also have a new Carnivine card, which does a base damage of 20 and an additional 30 damage when Arceus is in play. Unlike its Space-Time Smackdown counterpart, this card requires less energy to attack, which is a bonus. But its HP is lower and its max damage is less, so it may not be a fan-favorite addition to the game. There's a new Psychic Rotom. In Space-Time Smackdown, we got an incredible lineup of Rotom variants. This Rotom seems a little lackluster by comparison. 70 HP, 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and no retreat cost when paired with Arceus. Although this card does use neutral energy, despite being a Psychic type, so that is an interesting feature. We'll have to see how this card works with current decks, but I don't think this one will be very meta-breaking. As we saw in the trailer, there was also a new Magnemite card, which was a Steel type. Now we can see this new Magnezone variant. 140 HP, 80 damage for 3 energy, and it receives 30 less damage from attacks when Arceus is in play. Not a bad card. This might actually be interesting to play with Dialga. We'll have to see what the Magneton looks like before we can definitively say how this evolution line will affect the meta. We have a new Raichu. This card has 90 HP, does 40 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and 20 to one of their bench Pokemon. And it takes 30 less damage from attacks when Arceus is in play. All around, not a bad card. Despite the low HP, the damage mitigation should keep it in play for a decent amount of time, and those small digs at your opponent's active Pokemon and their bench will definitely add up. This card will be a welcome addition to the Pikachu evolution line. And the last leaked card, so far, is Tyranitar. This card has a sturdy 160 HP, an attack of 130, but it does require 4 energy to fire. It also does an additional 30 damage when Arceus is in play, adding up to a solid 160 damage. This card seems pretty strong, and while it could definitely wipe out quite a few EX cards, the high energy requirement might dissuade most players from using this card in their decks. So, that's it for the leaks so far. Lots of compelling new cards. This set is looking heavily Arceus focused, and if these leaks are real, we could see some major shifts in the current meta. There's a lot to expect from this potential new set. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about these cards. Do you think any of these cards stand out? Will you be incorporating these into your current decks? Or do you think these cards will have a minimal impact on the current meta? Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Pokemon TCG Pocket content. Until next time, happy training, and may the decks be ever in your favor.